Well, folks, it is Wednesday, hump day. You're rocking and rolling right here. Hottest show on the streets, #1 forum for Bama football news. Got that fire for you in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of TD, a Touchdown Alabama magazine. Happy to have you here with us. We're bringing you the show from the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you on YouTube. And speaking of the channel, stop all of what you're doing. Hit subscribe right now. Smash that subscribe button. Get every friend, family member, diehard fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Crimson Tide football to subscribe, because if you're loving the content, they will also. Don't forget to like the show. Smash the like button, give a like on the show, hit the like button, and start this thing off right now. 50 likes on the show right now. Run those likes up. Also, daily super chat going $100. $100 daily super chat go. All donations welcomed, appreciated. Everybody get into the conversation. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that way you miss nothing when it comes down to your Bama football as well. We got you covered here, streaming to you the show on Twitter today. But we got awesome conversation today. Awesome stuff to talk about. John Alver in the production studio. We want to hear from you guys, the passionate fans of Bama football. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. Got to shout out the incredible fan, Miss Donna Hardy, for gifting me this Crimson Crane hoodie. I mean, it's legit here with Jameson Williams and John Mechie on this hoodie here. It's pretty comfortable, by the way. So shout out the fan there for gifting me Crimson Crane hoodie right here. It is being put to outstanding use. But we start the conversation with this, John, and that being Alabama football still very much alive in the college football playoff, especially as I went back to crunch some numbers, look at some things, test out some different scenarios. I know Alabama moving up from 9 to 8 in the latest college football playoff rankings that came out on Tuesday. ESPN giving the Crimson Tide what a 17% chance of making the CFP, and a lot of the Bama Nation, you guys out there saying, well, does Alabama really deserve the playoff? Let's just have the team play for pride, play for the name on the back of the jersey, play for the scripted A on the jersey, and just get to whatever bowl game that will happen, whether it's a New Year's Six bowl or what have you. But after looking at some different numbers here and scenarios, Alabama, even at number 8, I feel like prime position, still a shot there, still hope there in making the college football playoff, still very much so alive. As we look at the 7 teams ahead of it here in the CFP, at number 7, you got the USC Trojans, number 6, the LSU Tigers, number 5, the Tennessee Volunteers, number 4, those Horned Frogs of TCU, number 3, the Michigan Wolverines, number 2, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and number 1, the Georgia Bulldogs. So those are the 7 teams ahead of Alabama in the CFP. And for me, there's still a lot of football left. There's still a chance for major chaos to ensue. I mean, USC could lose its last 2 games of the regular season. It could lose the Pac-12 championship game. And then, as always, what major teams do Pac-12 schools actually play when it comes down to the strength of schedule? I mean, the Pac-12 strength of schedule is normally not that good anyway. So you look at LSU, that game will be simplified by the SEC championship between LSU and Georgia, or even maybe Texas A&M with Jimbo Fisher knocks off LSU. I mean, who knows? So LSU will solve itself out, and then you got Tennessee at number 5, which the loser of Georgia LSU, you would think Tennessee would have a way to slip in there. Number 4, you got TCU, which TCU could lose before the Big 12 championship game. And even if it loses the Big 12 championship game and is not a conference champion, the Big 12 is kind of like the Pac-12 in the sense of their strength of schedule all the time isn't all that great. I mean, Michigan, Ohio State, teams 2 and 3, they will cancel each other out by the Michigan-Ohio State game at the end of the regular season. And then there's Georgia. So there's still, at number 8, there's still a shot there for Alabama. As small as it may be, Bama is still alive here in all intents and purposes for the college football playoff. Now, once again, a lot of people would say, but Stephen, does Bama deserve to be in there? I mean, they haven't played their best football all season. They've been up and down, inconsistent, 2 losses. This team doesn't deserve to even sniff the bone of the college football playoff. Well, when you look at the 2 losses do come by combined, 4 points? 3 to Tennessee, 1 to LSU. And if you look at it like this, if Alabama stops a 2-point conversion, right? If Bama stops a 2-point conversion, and if, a field goal does not go through for Tennessee, or if Alabama gets an even better range for a better field goal opportunity for Will Reichard, we're talking Alabama undefeated at this point right now. Now, I know people look at, but Steven, you can also talk about a Bama team with 3 to 4 losses if, Quinn Ewers doesn't get hurt for Texas or any other type of scenario you could throw out there. Yes, both points are valid, but at the end of the day, Alabama 2-loss team by a combined 4 points here. And the gist I'm trying to make here is a 2-loss Alabama. If you look at Alabama's strength of schedule, a 2-loss to Alabama looks a whole lot better than several of these teams ahead of it. Think about it. Alabama, barely beats Texas, but Texas is in the top 25. Not only in the CFP, but in the AP poll also. Good win there for Alabama. You look at a team like, let's say, Arkansas. Arkansas's had a good season this year under Sam Pittman. It's a good win there for Alabama. You look at Mississippi State. State's had a good year under Mike Leach. I think State is 7-3, 6-4, 7-3. Good year under Mike Leach. Good win there for Alabama. Ole Miss is 8-2. Good win for Bama. Strength of schedule right there. LSU is 8-2. Good win there. Good loss there for Alabama. Only by 1 down there in the Bayou. Tennessee is 8-2 also. I mean, the strength of schedule looking pretty promising there for the Crimson Tide. The only bad win would be Texas A&M, and that's not even Alabama's fault. A&M tried to buy a championship team with the recruiting class, and Jimbo fell right on his face with that one. But, I mean, that's the only quote-unquote bad win. Pick one. But the strength of schedule for Alabama is pretty solid, really strong right there. As opposed to a lot of these other teams ahead of it who you can honestly say, who have they truly played that's worth mentioning, that's worth noting, that has substance to it. At least for Alabama, every team it's played, for the most part, of the main teams have had substance to them because those teams have gone on to continue to, win games and show that, that matchup against Alabama, pretty strong matchup, not just for Alabama, but for those teams also. So a 2-loss Alabama, a much stronger strength of schedule than the programs ahead of it. And I like to point that back to the 2007 LSU National Championship team under Les Miles. Now, I get that. I get it was the BCS era. It was the BCS era, that 2007 team, BCS era. But that team with Matt Flynn and all those guys with Matt Flynn at quarterback. But that was an LSU team that suffered 2 losses that year, and that team was still able to ride itself the BCS National Championship game and defeated one Ohio State. So I'm just saying, LSU did it back in 2007. I get it. It was way different circumstances then, but it still happened in 2007 with a 2-loss LSU team with Les Miles and Matt Flynn. So if it happens then, and history has a way of repeating itself, kind of fancy myself as a history buff, but history has a way of repeating itself in crazy ways. Alabama at number 8, yes, slim chance of getting in. But let's not say it will not happen, period, because we've seen chaos ensue. And with there still being some more games left of the college football season, let's just brace ourselves for the chaos should it happen. It has a really good chance of potentially happening. But we'll take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your chats, your conversations. How do you feel? Do you feel like chaos could ensue? Do you feel like Alabama's still right in there where the CFP is concerned? We'll talk to you guys after this.
This is Matt Caddell, former Alabama wide receiver, and you're listening to In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith with Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And I got 2 words to say, baby. Roll Tide.
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
Well, folks, we're back into the action from the break on a Wednesday, hump day, hottest show in these streets. Talking Crimson Tide football news in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Once again, hit that like button. Give us that thumbs up. Run those likes up. Trying to get this to 50 likes right now on the show. Appreciate the support from you. Also, all donations welcome and appreciated daily. Super chat go $100. Appreciate you guys, the Alabama fans. Coach Saban and his presser tonight pumping up Pete Golding. Saying Coach Pete has done a great job with the personnel that we have here on this team. So it's Nick Saban basically saying to us that he is not going to part ways from Pete Golding. From this press conference, we may have gotten a hint of that. And I know a lot of you are saying, oh, sweet Lord, no. But yeah, Nick Saban pumping up Pete Golding here in the press conference. But we go to the phone lines right now to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steve, this is Rob from Chicago. How you doing, man?
Doing great, Robert, and yourself?
I'm doing good. Hey, last time I gave kind of a harsh critique of Alabama, and I stand by that. But I do think, the scenario you painted is interesting. Obviously, a lot of things would have to fall right, and the only thing that Alabama can do right now is just control what they can control, and that's, win these last 2 games. I'm similar to what Elijah said a couple of nights ago. The thing I'm really looking for right now for Alabama is continuous improvement. And, certainly the last game, they beat a good team, not a great team, but it beat a good team on the road. And anytime we beat an SEC team on the road, that's good. And as I look at, the 2 sides of the ball, I've come to the conclusion that on defense, despite some of the issues with scheme, I particularly don't like that 8-man drop. I really think Alabama has the talent on defense to win the championship. And I particularly like the way that Brian Branch has played lately. I think, other than Will Anderson, he's probably the most valuable player on that defense. I mean, he gets beat every now and then, but his tenacity, his big playability is just amazing. Well, offense, I feel a little different. I think they have both a scheme issue and a talent issue, particularly with the wide receivers. And that's the area that I really want to see the most improvement over the next couple of days. They're playing so many different wide receivers. I find it difficult for any one receiver to get any rhythm. And I'm sure it's got to be challenging for Bryce with all these different receivers in terms of timing and all the issues that go into having a crisp passing game. And I looked at some old tape of Jamison, Williams, and Mechie last year. And it's just amazing the timing that he had with those receivers, even when they were double and triple team. I mean, you look at the game, in that first game against Georgia, Jamison going down the middle, beating, the all-pro guy, the all-SEC guy, Ringo, double team. You look at Mechie in that Auburn game on that crisp out to win the game. So I think that's really the thing I'm going to be looking for. Now, the question I have for you, Steve, as we look forward to the end of this season and next season, one of the big issues is, who's going to stay and who's going to go pro. And I'd be curious on a couple players, if you can give me your best view, because I think as we think about finishing this year strong and next year, what is your gut on these 5 players going pro? Brian Branch, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Ellis Ricks, Dallas Turner, and Gibbs, because I think based on that, you're really going to have the building block for a final push this year and next year. Appreciate your thoughts. Thanks.
Absolutely. So appreciate it, Robert from Chicago, with that call. Brian Branch, I can see him go. Now, it would benefit him to come back, but I could see Brian Branch go just because he gives you so much diversity for any NFL secondary. He can blitz and hit home on blitzes. He can play the run. He can give you that physical hitting guy over the middle when you talk about taking on those tight ends and those wide receivers. Now, as far as coverage ability, there are times where Brian Branch can be a bit of a liability there, but that's probably the only area. So I could see Branch go pursue the draft. As for Eli Ricks, I think it would actually benefit Ricks to come back another year just due to he had the great freshman year at LSU, but then his sophomore year he got hurt, so he didn't have much tape. I mean, it took him a while to get on the field at Alabama. So I think Eli Ricks needs another year. Kool-Aid McKinstry definitely is going to need another year, so he'll be back his junior year. Dallas Turner needs that junior year, which will be next year. And I think you also mentioned there Robert DeMarco Helms. I think
Gibbs, but go ahead. You can
Gibbs.
add Helms.
Okay, Gibbs.
Yeah.
Now, Gibbs should go. I think Gibbs should go because Gibbs matches today's running back in the NFL. Where with Gibbs, he can run outside, he can run on the perimeter. He does display some power between the tackles. He does have pass protection ability. We saw him take on some linebackers and defensive ends in pass pro this year. Did pretty well with that. We know what he can give you as a receiver. He leads the team with 40 catches, so that's self-explanatory. And then on kickoff return, he's got speed there too, so I think Gibbs should go. So the guys that I would say should come back, I would look at Ricks. I would look at Dallas Turner. I think those two definitely should come back. But appreciate my man Robert from Chicago there with that call. But 205-448-1358, number to call in. Let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. We're going to actually, John, jump to this quick topic here as practice footage came out on Monday or Tuesday for the Crimson Tide. And Tyler Harrell, the transfer from Louisiana, in this footage a lot as you're watching it on screen. And look at the speed on this play. Look at the speed on this play right here. He's healthy. Will he finally just get on the field and stay on the field? That's the question. Will he be able to showcase this speed before the end of the season? He's got 2 games to do it. He's got Austin Peay this weekend. He's got Auburn in the Iron Bowl, both games in Tuscaloosa. And then, of course, you've got the bowl game. Will Tyler Harrell be able to showcase this speed? Because look at him, look at the footwork. Look at him explode out of there. I mean, the speed's there. He's healthy. He's returned from the foot injury he suffered back at Louisville prior to coming to Alabama via the transfer portal. So that's the question. He's healthy. Coach Saban keeps saying it. We're watching this video of how Get out of there. He just gets out of the break, running down. We see he's healthy. He can move. At what point can we finally see him showcase this speed here? I know folks have been saying, well, it's a little too late. I mean, Bama's not in the SEC championship game fight. They're not in the college football playoff running, so, it's a little too late, but never too late to use a receiver. Especially get this young man prepared for next season because he still has another year of eligibility left. And if you see him healthy right there, get him on the field, got another year of eligibility left, get him set to go for next spring and also next season. We'll take this call here, though. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Springville, Alabama. How's it going, Steven?
Doing great, man. And yourself?
I was just going to ask you, and you answered my question about whether you thought Harold would come back next year.
Yeah, Tyler Harold does have another year of eligibility. Played his first 2 years at Louisville. This will be his junior year, and he hasn't had the tape at all this season because the junior year is the money year for NFL scouts. So he's got another year of eligibility, and he has to use it.
And what do you think about with the running back situation for next year?
Running back situation for next year, I could see Gibbs pursuing the draft. That would leave you with McClellan. Yep. That would leave you with McClellan, Roydell Williams, Jamarian Miller. I could see Trey Sanders hitting the transfer portal. I hope I'm wrong, but I can see Trey Sanders transfer. That would give you McClellan, Roydell, Jamarian Miller, and then, of course, the two studs, should they stay and sign in the early signing period. That would be Justice Haynes and Richard Young.
Gotcha. And my last question, Al, you think Alabama looks in the portal for a quarterback in the offseason? You think they'll at least experiment, see what's out there, or do you think they go with the two that are there and let them battle it out in camp?
I think Saban will go with Milroe and Ty Simpson and let those two battle it out. And then plus you got two freshmen coming in with Dylan Larnigan out of Georgia and Eli Holsting. Both of those two are coming in. Now, of those two, I'm not quite sure which one will enroll early for spring ball. I'll get a chance to talk with our own Justin Smith, who is our outstanding recruiting analyst here for TDA, to get that answer. But I think if I'm Coach Saban, I would use Austin Peay this weekend to at least see what I got here for the future when you talk Ty Simpson and Jalen Milroe.
That's what I think too. All right. I appreciate your time as always.
Absolutely. Appreciate that call coming into the show here. We're going to take a break here, folks. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, Pete Golding, nominated for the nation's top assistant coach for college football. What in the world does this mean moving forward? We'll talk about it after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back kicking it with you from the break. Hottest show on the streets, talking Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. We're already at that 50 likes, and let's get to 75 right now. Get this thing 75 likes right now. Hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, leave a like here on the show. All donations welcomed and appreciated. That daily super chat go $100 daily Super Chat go. We want all the support coming from you, the outstanding fans here of Crimson Tide football. But, John, we now turn our attention to one. Pete Golding. Coach Pete is he's been nominated for the Frank Broyles Award, which goes to the nation's top assistant coach in college football. And upon seeing this news, a lot of Bama fans are going, are you freaking kidding me? A lot of Bama fans are going, what? Is this real? Is this absolutely real? Pete Golding nominated for the Frank Broyles Award. You are not being punked. Ashton Kutcher is not jumping out the closet. This is real. This is no typo. Pete Golding, according to the Frank and Barbara Broyles Foundation, Pete Golding nominated for the Frank Broyles Award for the nation's top assistant coach. And, to me, this is a very sticky, eerie kind of a situation, because I feel like regardless of what happens at the end of the season, Bill O'Brien's gone. I feel like Bill O'Brien is gone regardless of what happens. This experiment with B.O.B. has not worked. It's rip the Band-Aid off of this and hit the reset button. Flush, hit the reset button. So I feel like O'Brien's gone. But with Pete Golding, what makes this eerie is this could go one of two ways, right? When you look at Coach Saban and the question, do I keep him or do I cut ties and let Pete Golding go here? This is where it gets sticky, because Golding being nominated for this award, this could either be an inside job where Alabama's PR department vouches for him to get nominated for this, and it's an inside job for other teams to look at him, and because he got nominated, this is maybe Saban's way of kind of nicely ushering him out the door. He's getting that nomination. So, Pete, hey, you got the nomination. Now just slide your way out of here to another program. It could be that. Or it could be a situation where Pete Golding goes, hey, I got nominated for the nation's top assistant coach. Maybe this buys me another year. Maybe this buys me extra time. Maybe this buys me one more season. Maybe I deserve another year in Tuscaloosa. It could go one of those two ways. Be an inside job. Saban use this to kind of usher Pete gently out the door elsewhere. Or it's a ploy for Pete Golding. Hey, I'm nominated for the nation's top assistant coach. Maybe I have earned that next year, that one more year in Tuscaloosa. And I understand if you're judging this by the numbers, Alabama's defense has been better this year than what's been in recent years, but numbers don't necessarily tell the whole tape. It does not. Because when you look at Georgia, Georgia's playing team defense. They're just dropping guys to the ground and taking their will, their soul, their heart, their life from them. And, if Georgia, they don't have just this one star on their team. Everybody's hungry. Everybody's bought in. Everybody plays together. They're talking about their toughness, their physicality, and inflicting pain on teams. I mean, we saw Hendon Hooker looking like a Heisman Trophy winner against Alabama, quarterback for Tennessee. Against Georgia, Hendon Hooker looked like the guy bagging your groceries at Walmart. Like a completely different dude. Completely different dude. So, for Georgia, it's team defense. Everybody mean, nasty, angry, flowing to the football. For Alabama, it's not team defense. We're picking out individual players. Whether it's Will Anderson, whether it's Dallas Turner, whether it's Brian Branch, whether it's Byron Young, we're picking out individual players. Georgia, one team, one heartbeat, one sound, one mission, kill everything in the path. Kill everything. Georgia. And Pete Golding is not having Alabama playing like that. Glenn Schumann, Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp is having opposition pee their pants before they step on the field. You talk about playing Georgia. Like opponents, when they play Georgia, they're already mentally defeated by the time the playing stops. It used to be like that for Alabama, where teams were mentally defeated before they took the field. Not necessarily that at this point. And we've also seen the toughness, the aggressiveness, the meanness, the physicality, the run through a brick wall with high energy. We've seen that steadily decline each year under Pete Golding since 2018 and 2019. So, the guy is nominated for the Broyles Award for top assistant coach, but what does this really mean? Does this really mean that Coach Saban is going to hang on to him? Because Saban mentioned tonight in the presser, Pete's done a great job. I love what he's done scheme-wise. I love what he's done with the players. He's made leaps and bounds of strides. I really praising and pumping up Pete Golding. So does this mean, with him being nominated here, Frank Broyles Award, does this mean Saban's going to hold on to him another year in the program? Or is this an inside job where Saban knows he's been nominated, but he's used this to kind of usher Pete stage left, bring in a proven defensive coordinator that can get Alabama football defensively back to where it needs to be at? I've already given my thoughts on this, John. I understand the recruiter that Golding is. I get it. Move him off the field, give him an off-field role, and then recruit. If you're going to keep him, put him off field, and bring a proven DC in here. Or at least, move Pete Golding off field. You hire Todd Grantham as an analyst. Promote Todd Grantham on the field. Make him the DC and linebackers coach. There's your answer. If you want to do it from inside, you hire Todd Grantham. Go ahead and promote him down. You want to do that? Well, but we'll see what this is. I mean, I saw Pete Golding nominated for the Frank Broyles Award, and I'm gonna have to. And now these are kind of thick glasses here, John. Not too thick though. And I had to do like 5 different double takes and threw my glasses off my face because I didn't think it was real when I sat there and saw Pete Golding nominated for the Frank Broyles Award. But hey, we've seen things happen. We'll see what does this mean for him moving forward. But we take our next break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, folks. When we get back, ring those phone lines. We're taking your calls, your thoughts, your questions, your concerns. Let's hear it from you right after this.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back into the action from the break on a Wednesday, hump day, hottest show on the streets. talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. We got over 180 people in the chat. We got 69 likes. Let's get this thing to 100. Hit that like button, smash the like button, give a like on the show. Let's get this thing right here. 100 likes. Appreciate you guys, the Bama Nation, the Bama fans, making this your place here to talk Crimson Tide football. Also, all donations welcomed. All donations appreciated. That daily Super Chat goal, $100 right there. Daily Super Chat goal. Thanks to you guys, the Bama fans, making this your spot here to talk Crimson Tide. And we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in. Gotta shout out my man Bill! Big Bill from New York with that $5 donation helping us out right there. Dancing, Steven, appreciating that also. For 205-448-1358. Number to call in. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steven, how you doing? Bill from New York. What's up?
Doing great, man. How you feeling, Bill?
All right. We're talking about coaches. I want to bring up, it's a question, of course, as well as a comment. I've been looking at the receivers, and I got a problem with Coach Wiggins right now. Because here's what I'm saying. Who is he brought in really from high school that's doing that much? Who is he developed? You know what I mean? And, even the guys in the transfer portal, this year, Burton, he's pretty good. But the guys that we did have, like Leary, who's he developing? Our players this year, our receivers, they're dropping passes, Stephen, like I don't remember us doing. Like the football's coated in motor oil or something like that. Even Prentice, he shows me a lot of potential, but he's dropping passes. These kids are dropping passes, and you know what it is? They got a Heisman Trophy winner throwing them the football. I don't understand it, and I don't know if he's recruiting the wrong guys. Like I said, I don't see who he's developing. So I think if we're going to single out, Golding and O'Brien, I think this guy needs to answer too. I think he needs to answer to a lack of production, at least what I can see. I don't know who recruited Jamison Williams. Great job, you know what I mean? But who else? And he's been here 2 years. Do we have a guy on the whole roster who would be any better than fourth string on the 2021 championship team? I don't think so. I think some would struggle to be fourth string. Stephen, tell me if I'm out of line here.
No, absolutely not, Bill, because Coach Wig does deserve some criticism here, because the only guy you can say he's developed would be John Mechie. Mechie and Coach Wig, they both came in 2019. So you could say that Wiggins developed him from start to finish. You could say that. Guys like Judy, Ruggs, Smith, Waddle were already kind of here before Wiggs got here. So Wiggs did a good job kind of cultivating those guys, but a lot of those guys were already here. And then Jamison Williams already had some big playability come from Ohio State. Once again, Coach Wiggins did a good job of helping him also as well, but I think the only guy that Wiggins kind of took from start to finish would be John Mechie. Everybody else, they were already had some tutelage under their belt prior to him. So Coach Wig does deserve some blame there.
I give him credit for Mechie because, I didn't know that he developed Mechie. And Mechie, I was a big fan of his since the first time I saw him in the A game. I turned him on the A game, his first time. I said, who is this guy? He's great. And he's going to be a real good pro when he's healthy. But thanks, Stephen. I'm glad you see my point a little bit. You know what I mean? I just wanted to bring that up. Thanks for taking my call. Roll Tide, everybody. You got a great show.
Appreciate my man Bill from New York calling in right there on a Wednesday. We go to this one. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Roll Tide, Steve. It's Jay from Florence, man. How y'all this evening?
Doing good, Jay. Doing good, man. Preparing myself for some good Thanksgiving next week.
Man, what? I'm so ready to. Ooh, Steve. Man, don't get me that excited, man. Do not get the big man that excited.
Look, Jay. Look, man. Jay. It's only so often when you can go home right and get yourself that real cooking.
Ooh, man. I've been on the road working too, Steve. You talking real good to me, man. Man, I can't wait till next week. But that, man, that's next week, man. Whew, you got me too happy. But man, what we need to sit out everybody and just play all the rookies and stuff for Austin P, right? Anybody going to the NFL this year, we just gonna sit y'all. Well, we ain't playing for nothing.
You might as well use this game to play all the freshmen, play all the sophomores, play all the young guys, and get them ready for spring and next season.
Man, what? I sure wouldn't mind. I love to go see old Alexander come through and knock somebody's block off. So what's his name? I don't even care about his name. Henry Boo Boo. Show him how to tackle or something. Get somebody in there that really want to do it.
I would love to see Alexander out there, Jihad Campbell out there. All of them guys out there that hungry and want to get out there on this field. This is the game against Austin Peay to do it.
Oh, can they do that, Steve? I don't know how that red shirt stuff work. Can they let the young guns work this game? Or
they can. They can. The new rule is you can play up to 4 games before you're redshirted. It doesn't matter which 4 games they are. Just play 4 games.
Man, I'm talking about if you're a junior, we don't want to see you on the field, period, man. You done had your time to shine. Man, we freshmen and sophomores, man. This should be a practice. This is a scrimmage game anyway. What's the point in Bryce them going out there this game?
I'm just saying.
You do the play calling. Let somebody else be the offensive play caller. Let me and you get in the booth and turn our hat backwards and look at the play sheet upside down and stuff. We can do that much, can't we, Steve?
Jay, we could, though. I would not. Now, me, I wouldn't be on the booth. I would actually be on the field. I would sit there. Saban will talk to me. I'll try to get back to Saban. It'll be kind of funny. It'd be funny.
Man, Steve, I ain't going to do no work if I ain't got to. Bill O'Brien, he don't get to do nothing. He can just sit there, look retarded in front of the screen like he actually, and then want to get mad. Man, come on, man, you ain't called to play yet, man. But you slamming a pencil. Boy, if you don't leave that pencil alone. I don't know, man. If I've been 5 feet 15 years ago. I hope somebody tie his shoestrings together and run him on down the hill, make him just tumble or something, because he is a big mistake.
I'm still looking at this Frank Broyles Award list, and I'm wondering how did Golden get on this?
Didn't it feel like somebody was cracking a little joke or something? Like I felt like I was getting picked on.
I sat there and looked at that, Jay, and I had to do like 5 double takes. But then I thought, could this be one of them things where he gets on this list and Saban just kind of uses this to kind of nudge him out and go find the defensive coordinator he wants to find? Could it be that?
Man, we don't need to get this man no nut. Give him the Apollo hook. Snatch his ass on up out there and get him gone, man. Well, man, nudge for what? We done nursed him this long, Steve. Kick him out the door. Get how Uncle Phil used to do, old buddy, just throw him out.
Pull Jazz. He used to throw Jazz out the house.
Man, just throw him out of there. Just get your blank out of here, Pete. And I hope he land on his head. But, oh, man. Roll Tide, y'all, man. Man, we got football, man. We still got a couple more games. I just want to see the young guns. Oh, they shouldn't even dress out nobody that's a junior senior team. Roll Tide, I love y'all, man.
Appreciate Jay calling in right there. Austin Peay, this is the game. You want to get a lot of your young guys on the field, build that chemistry, that continuity, that confidence for next spring and next year. Here's a chance to do it right here. Brian Denny against Austin Pay. But we take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
The Godfather is in the house from a disclosed bunker in northwest Alabama. Stephen, what's happening on Wednesday? Tell me something good.
Doing great, Waylon. Cannot complain here. No, Bama men's basketball starting off strong. And in terms of football here, we got healthy. We got Tyler Harrell showing speed in practice. Can we just get the man on the field? And Aaron Anderson, another freshman receiver, according to Coach Saban, finally healthy and is at the point where he can contribute. So Aaron Anderson, Tyler Harrell, can we just get both of these two receivers on the field and have them stay on the field? And then, can we just get these two on the field?
Get him on the field. He was looking good in the film there. He was smoking. I tell you what, I picked up some hitchhiking Tennessee squirrels last night. I got them in the basement prodding them for more information. This story will be continued later on in the week. But anyway, y'all looking good. Pete Golding, I saw that about Pete Golding last night. I read it. Well, it is what it is. He's here to stay. He's like Red Fox's junk. He's here to stay. I love all y'all. Y'all be safe. Stay out of this cold weather. Be warm. We'll meet back on Friday. We'll celebrate this win against Austin Pee-wees on Saturday, and we're gonna go on and take it. We're gonna jerk the soul out of the Auburn Tigers. I love Cadillac, but it's got to be done. We're gonna do it. I love all y'all. Y'all be safe. I'll catch y'all later on in the week. Bye, everyone.
Appreciate the President Waylon dropping in here on a Wednesday. We go to this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen, CJ from T-Town, man. It's good to talk to you, man. I just wanted to tell you that, in my own words, man, I applaud you for it. It truly is the best Bama program around. And I'm not just saying that. That's the truth. But the Bama standard, let me tell you, man, that show is good, man. I'm telling you now, with the ex-players coming on and, all the honesty that y'all put on the show, man, it is one of the best shows. I look forward to your show, but I also look forward to that show as well, you being on it too. So, man, it is really good. But I wanted to get your thoughts on something that y'all talked about last night. And it may be a long shot because, the player doesn't have any experience, as they say. But George T coming in, an ex-Alabama dog coming in with that fire, do you think it would fit?
Do I think George Teague would fit? To me, today's players, you got to come at them in a different way. I mean, with players being paid now with NIL, which that's here to stay, you can't do anything about that. And today's age of player, you got to always tell them how good they are, how great they are, sort of coddle them. So George T comes from an era of cutthroat, dog mentality. Like, hey, if you ain't doing your job, I'm gonna let you know you ain't doing your job. I'm gonna call you out on it. And today's player is not all for being called out on their stuff. Now, some still may be, but today, the majority of today's player is not for that. So it would be kind of different. I still think it would work, but it would be kind of different.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get your thoughts on that, man, because hearing Teague talk, he talks soft, but when you can hear the fire in his voice, and it just sounds like that would be something that would shake up the team, and maybe you do need to weed out the ones that don't want to be motivated.
I mean, true, and I'll say this: I think now is definitely the time where, if you're Coach Saban, you got to invest back in the program by allowing some of these alums and former players to get back in there, allowing the Marvin Constants, the George Teagues, the Bo Scarboroughs, the Mike McCoys, the Marquise Mazes, those guys that were in those trenches, get them back in there and let them talk to these guys, because those guys have won championships. They've been in those dogfights. They've been in those locker rooms. They've built that brotherhood, that B sci-fi, that Bama sci-fi. Get those guys back in there, because a lot of the guys that Bama's brought in recruiting-wise, they don't know the culture of Bama football. They really don't. They don't know the culture. They don't know the standard. They don't understand what it takes to be at Alabama and win at Alabama. They're not used to it at all. So when you're dealing with players that don't understand the moniker that is Alabama football, you got to get guys in there to teach that understand and that played in it.
Yeah, and that's why I say that bringing in somebody like Teague, even though he has no experience, the guy is an amazing player, college and pro. And you can hear the motivation and skills in his voice. You know, he knows what he's talking about. And maybe he's not the right one, but somebody like that, an ex-player, something like that, man. Because this ain't the standard anymore, Stephen. I mean, it's like watching paint dry, man. When you watch it, you're sitting there screaming at the TV. You want that what we used to have back. You want it back, and we could have it easily if we just had somebody to put them in the right positions to make the plays, and maybe not the most, but a big part, motivation, man, and knowing that standard of Bama football. But man, it's always good to talk to. I hadn't talked to you in about a year, but love the show, Stephen, and let Uncle Charles know that he needs to call in every program. We always look for Uncle Charles on every program, so let him know that. But good to talk to you, Stephen, and roll tide.
Appreciate CJ calling in there from T-Town. We'll definitely pass that message on to Uncle Charles because we need that laughter coming from him to keep us going. But, John, I've always said this. I've always mentioned this. And Bama needs, and Coach Saban, especially the players from his era that played during his time here at the university, he needs to get those guys back in the program and light that fire underneath this team and for teams to come, because it's one thing to talk about the Alabama standard. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to have players in here that lived it, that played through it, that won championships, that came out on the other side. I mean, for crying out loud, Nick Gentry, former Alabama defensive lineman, has said, I'm willing to go down there. You got Marquise Mays, who said, I'm willing to go down there. George Teague, if Coach Saban calls me, I'll go down there. Like, you got to get guys that have been a part of the culture, that built the culture back into the program and help sort of rectify that culture. Got some super chats to get to right now. How about Brian Watson with that $1.99? That $1.99 in the super chats. Appreciate the love there from Brian Watson. We got my man Jimmy Cash Money Clay with that $25 donation and another $25 donation. So $50 coming in from Jimmy Clay. Appreciate him. Gotta love McConaughey. Every time Jimmy Clay comes in, McConaughey comes in. McConaughey with a $50 donation, throwing it in there. Appreciate McConaughey. My man weighing on the president, dropping in that 99 cents, two-stepping his way in here. That daily super chat goal of $100 has been met by you, the Alabama fans. Give yourselves a hand, making this your show, your network, your place to talk Crimson Tide football. CJ from Tuscaloosa saying that this is his show right here. This show in the Bama Standard. Well, I just do something I enjoy doing. I mean, like I've mentioned, John Ivory, Eli Walker, everybody here at TDA, they make it easy. That way all I have to do is come in here in front of a camera and talk Alabama football to you guys, as the fans, 3 days a week for an hour or so long, those 3 days a week. This is what I thoroughly enjoy doing, and giving you a product that you can be excited about to tune in 3 days a week. And that's my biggest joy right there. But we got a call topic right here, and this call topic goes to Will Anderson, Alabama outside linebacker Will Anderson, the Terminator. He hasn't had the statistical numbers from last year, but still quite effective anyway. Anderson, 8 sacks on the year to lead the team. I think he is first in the SEC, 6th in the nation for sacks. Anderson with 14 tackles for loss, does have 10 quarterback hurries, a blocked field goal, and a pick six. And Anderson, who is the reigning Bronco Nagurski Award winner, the honor goes to the best defensive player in college football, voted on by the Football Writers Association of America. Anderson is a finalist for the Nagurski Award this year. He can repeat for it. And this is pretty huge here. So since 1993, if I'm not mistaken here, only one person prior to Will Anderson for Alabama has won the Nagurski honor, and that was Jonathan Allen in 2016. Anderson's won it this past season, can win it again, repeating for it this season. We'll see if he becomes the winner once again. But we take our final break here on the show. Don't touch that down, because when we return, does Alabama have a glue guy that's starting to emerge as a playmaker offensively? We'll tidy up loose ends with that after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, Bama fans, we're back into the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets, talking Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Bama Nation, give yourselves a hand, meaning that daily super chat goal of $100. Appreciate you guys. We're right now at 92 likes, 8 likes away from 100. Continue hitting that like button, hitting that thumbs up, making this your show, your network, your spot here to talk Alabama football. Coach Saban with the update on Eli Ricks and Jahmyr Gibbs, the cornerback Eli Ricks, who suffered a slight head injury against Ole Miss, and Jahmyr Gibbs at running back with a twisted ankle. Both guys listed as day-to-day, according to Coach Saban. Alabama will see how they progress throughout this week of practice for Austin Peay. Me personally, I would probably say both of those two for the Iron Bowl, but both guys listed as day-to-day, according to Coach Saban. Also, don't forget about TDAwear.com. That is TDAwear.com. So for all of your swagger, sauce, drip, clothing, cultural, fashion needs, check us out right now, TDAwear.com. The link in the description. You can still get you that gear, supporting your favorite program, and the brand give you the information on that program, TDAwear.com. Making sure one-stop shop for all things Bama, TDAwear.com. Showing that support there for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, with student athletes and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But now we get into, does Alabama have that kind of unsung hero glue guy offensively that is starting to kind of emerge, step up, and show himself a little bit? And the guy I'm referring to, John, is Kendrick Law, the freshman wide receiver from Louisiana. Shreveport, Louisiana, came as a 4-star in the 2022 class. And the reason why I bring up Kendrick Law is, here's a guy Coach Saban mentioned last week. Alabama wanted to get him on the field earlier in the season because of his versatility, athleticism. Remember, played multiple positions in high school, multiple spots there. Here's a guy at 5'11", 190 plus pounds or so. This guy right here is a big-time receiver, really good receiver, really good on special teams, very good blocker. Can block on special teams, can block as a receiver. A guy that plays with a lot of discipline, plays with a lot of toughness, plays with a lot of that physicality, that dog-like nature, in his game. And reason why I'm referring to him as a glue guy is Corey Brooks and Coach Saban both said interesting things about Kendrick Law. Corey Brooks said, the guy's funny. He's a jokester. He makes us laugh. He's a barber. He cuts hair. I wonder in the next series of Bama cuts, they just have Kendrick Law cutting folks' hair in the barbershop. That'd be a pretty cool wrinkle. They'll just have Kendrick Law cutting your hair. But, along with him cutting hair, Ja'Cory Brooks has taken Law under his wing in a sense of, showing him plays and route concepts and different things in terms of the offensive scheme. And the young man has picked it up incredibly fast. This is a guy that suffered a torn hamstring, earlier in the year, but healthy and is back full on in the rotation. Stepped up against Ole Miss last week. Had 3 catches for 26 yards, including 1 catch for a first down. In my opinion, I think it's kind of time to bench either Trayshawn Holden or Jermaine Burton for Kendrick Law. I think it's time. You can sit Burton down or you can sit Holden down and increase Law's reps. Here's a guy that won it. Here's a guy that, he won it. He won it. He want to get out there and make plays. Just a unselfish, disciplined player. Case in point, Kendrick Law got punched. I don't know if it was the LSU game or the Ole Miss game. I think it was the Ole Miss game. Kendrick Law got punched on a play. Anybody else would probably got up and retaliated. Kendrick Law got up and showed for discipline, did not retaliate. That's the mindset, right? That's the winning football mindset. Somebody gets up, punches you, you don't retaliate back, you show the discipline, you show the self-control. That's the type of thing that Coach Saban likes to see right there. So from him, making some plays there against Ole Miss and how he has looked, all season, especially on special teams prior to the hamstring, definitely want more of Kendrick Law out there on the field. And this week against Austin Peay, perfect opportunity to have him increase those reps, increase that time on the field of play. He's a glue guy, team guy, wants to be out there. He's hungry. Let's see more of Kendrick Law out here on the field. But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage, entertainment on your favorite program at being Bama Football. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. If you have the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. Remember, Tide fans, you can do this. You can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. Also, if you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, here is what you do. You go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join. Become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description as well. Gotta give a shout out to you guys, the outstanding fans of Bama football, for all the donations, all the calls, all the super chats, the dialogue, the conversation with you. Tremendous. Shouting out my man John Ivory in the production studio, handling things behind the scenes right there. And till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you guys continue now doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. You get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. And as always, you protect yourself. Number 1, you protect the loved ones around you. Number 2, till Friday, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. And as always, you've been listening in my own words.